Hello once again, Star Wars and Unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba, and I have gotten into a little bit of a customizing kick at the moment, and I'm going to share my little project with you now. Now, I am not a customizer to the level that I've seen many people on YouTube. I'm sure that you can look on YouTube and find crazy builds from people turning their entire room into a room that looks like it belongs in Galaxy's Edge in Disney World or Disneyland, or a scene right out of any Star Wars movie, prequel, sequel, original, Clone Wars, everything, okay? There's some crazy uber talented people. And then that's just what people can do with just making stuff out of just junk, stuff around the house. Then you got people who have the 3D printing bug and can 3D print all sorts of cool things. So I am nothing like that. Although I do want to get to be a little bit of a 3D printer person, and maybe start. That might be kind of like a bucket list item when retirement comes, and I have a little more time to try to experiment with stuff like that. So that's down the road. But for the here and now, I want to share with you a little project I've done. I didn't actually document it. I just kind of did it because I didn't know if it was going to work. I didn't know if it was going to come together. And to be honest, it isn't even fully done yet. I have it kind of mostly done. So I want to talk about it involves an old Star Wars vintage item called the Creature Cantina. The Creature Cantina playset. It's an old playset put out by Lucasfilm in the late 70s. And it was basically a base with a cardboard backdrop. And you could put your little Star Wars figures on the base. And they did some things where they kind of moved a little bit. And they, could, if you do them a certain way. And there was a little feature where people could get knocked over, just like scenes from the Cantina. And, with all the HasLab Cantina thing that just came out recently, I got to thinking, that was one thing that got me thinking, that's such a cool concept that I wonder if we can expand on it and do something a little bit different. And then, if you watch my channel, you know that I subscribe heavily to the Star Wars Daddy YouTube channel. I'm a Big Daddy member there, and I purchase items from him pretty much on a weekly basis from his eBay store. And he had recently, if you watch the channel, you know this, he had recently, when I say recently, at the time of this recording, about 4 months ago, purchased a $45,000 Star Wars collection. All vintage, all boxed, and not mint, but boxes and tons of X-Wings and TIE Fighters and Death Star space stations and Creature Cantinas. And he had so many. Now, they weren't all in the best of shape. Some of them were complete in a decent box. Some of them were complete in a not-so-decent box. Some of them were not complete, no box. And he had a lot of bases. He had a lot of these bottom parts, just the plastic base that the figures sit on. No cardboard, no little doorway. So, in one of the many purchases I made from him, I asked if he might be able to send me, pay a little something small for a couple of the bases. And sure enough, we made an agreement and he sent me a couple of bases. So I went outside yesterday and I did a little painting. And I took this base, this is the color it used to be, and I made it into kind of a dark gray. And I'm thinking to myself, so you might be thinking, well, why would you ever want to have a dark gray thing? Well, I can't imagine that an entire Death Star would be in existence, right, without there being a cantina or a bar of some sort, right? So I just envision a Death Star cantina. So then I wanted to do a backdrop. So I figured out, I took a couple of images. Now, full disclosure, what I've created here is just some screenshots of some scenery, part of the business, the office center, a couple of stormtroopers. I fully admit, AI, I know. I'll explain. I am not a supporter of AI. However, I wanted to get something out here as a placeholder because I talked to my daughter, who is the artist who is responsible for all the art at the beginning of the channel, plus a lot of my shirts. And there's my Death Star Cantina. This is a placeholder backdrop. She's going to work on something for me. She's in the middle of working on a children's book right now, so she didn't have time to do it. I said, that's all right. I'll just do this as a placeholder. And the minute I said AI, she's like, all right, I'm going to work on it. And I said, you just take your time. It's really more about the base. I'll get the backdrop going a little bit later. All right. So I put that together and I thought to myself, you know, that's kind of nice, right? That's, you know, let's put that out there, and let's take a few Death Squad commanders, right, and kind of put them up here. And you got to imagine that they're thirsty. They want to get a drink, and you got to go somewhere. Now, the question I have is, I don't think I have any stormtroopers in my little pack. Oh no, but I have a bunch of these guys, so I'll have one more Death Star trooper be a bartender, barkeep. Can you fit the peg hole in there, buddy? You got a little too drunk. Okay, come on. I'll have to take this off for a minute just because I can't see it. So, there we go. Get in there. Yeah. I mean, you know, just a little thing. See if I have a Death Star droid. I do have a Death Star droid. Oh, I have a Death Star droid. Ooh, I just lost a 3PO. I have a couple more here. All right, so I'll get one guy in a stand here, one guy in a stand. I'll sit him right in the center there. Okay, get my little thing back up. I don't know what the Death Star droid would do. Do they allow Death Star droids in the Cantina? I don't know. So that's all. My little Death Star Cantina, non-creature Cantina, because you know those pesky Imperials, they don't really like aliens. So sorry to say, but it's true. It's, you know, you can read about it. So that's my Death Star Cantina, but I'm not done yet. No, not done at all, because then I had a second one. So this one, you know, again, here's the color it was on the bottom. Sorry. I went for a little bit of a darker beige, you know, somewhere between beige and brown, right? And I thought, well, I mean, I could do Navarro. I could do, you know, I mean, if I had more vintage retro style figures from The Mandalorian, or the, you know, the pirates and whatnot, I might consider that. And I don't know, if I think Star Wars Daddy just got rid of the rest of his collection. I mean, if you watch my channel, I made a purchase of a bunch of boxed, you know, last minute boxed, you know, partially complete items, but the boxes were really in bad shape. And I think he said he put the rest of it on Facebook Marketplace and sold it all. So we're done. I'm going to miss that, Star Wars Daddy. That was such a cool thing. I hope you come across one of those again and can do that all over again, because I mean, the figures week to week are awesome, but in reality, I'm really there for the play sets and the boxes and that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I thought, well, what could I do with this? And I thought, you know what? The holidays are coming. And with the holidays come the Star Wars Holiday Special. So I took a couple of other images right out of the Star Wars Holiday Special. Oh, is that the right one? Yeah. Right out of the solid Star Wars Holiday Special. This is a shot of the band playing, some of the aliens that were there, and you got, I put the very last scene of the Cantina where, was it Chelman or Kremlin? I forget his name. But Harvey Korman was one of his many characters, and we'll put it on here in a second. But I want to get a couple of other figures in here. Let's see, do we have any aliens? This one, we definitely want some aliens. I think I have, oh, is this one not complete? This one not, oh, I can put this one. This is a Snaggletooth. We'll get him in here. This is where he was actually part of anyway, right? Okay, so Snaggletooth. Can't have any droids. That one is, you know, we don't serve their kind. But maybe I'll put Chewie, you know, Chewie, because he's a Life Day Chewie, so maybe he stopped that in the Cantina on his way to the holiday special. Oh, we got a hammerhead. That'll work. You can go over here. This is why I know these are some Star Wars Daddy figure wins. Do I want any more? The rest of these, well, yeah, they're not really part of the original movie, so I don't know if I want to put them in there. Anybody else? No. Maybe I'll. I guess we're good. All right, so we don't have to do any more with that. All right, that's fine. But I'm not done, because, you know, we can also have. We can put our. If you watch my channel, you know I put a few these. Ooh, don't fall. We can have Gourmandu, whatever. Whip, stir. Actually, she shouldn't go there. She should go like here. Okay, let me actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put her, hopefully I can get her in a small stand here. There we go. Come on. I don't know if this is obviously a custom figure. Ooh, looks like it will fit, okay. There we go. You know, I think I'm going to take this off and I'm going to put this right here. I'm actually going to, there we go. So you can do the whip, whip, stir. Right? And then we're going to get Trader Sandan and go over here as well. And of course, you can't have Chowman's Cantina without Akmina, the best character there. Chewie's going to go back in the box because I completely forgot about another Chewie I have. I have a Chewie with the red robe, so he can go here as well. All right, and then we can take our this and we'll set it up over here. And again, I believe my daughter will give me a more custom. I showed her the original, and I told her showed her the art that was in the backdrop of the Falcon, of the Death Star, of the Cantina, and she really loves that art. Her art is very similar, so I said, well, give me some art, and we'll do it. So now this will go upstairs and as part of the holidays, so it could be our holiday special featured. And I think eventually, right now only have three. Well, I have two figures, or three. I have Akmina, Sandan, and Gormandu. Or Comanda. So I want to, and I have Chewie in his robe. I think I'm going to put Luke and Han and Leia in there, maybe 3PO and R2, and we'll have like the whole cast, you know. And I don't know if I'm going to get, I don't think I'm going to get Diane Carroll. Nope, can't do it. I've never really watched the scene. I fast forwarded. But eventually I'd like to get Itchy and Mala and Lumpy and get them in there. So this will be a nice way to display them for the holidays. And if I get a little bit of my daughter's cool art in the backdrop, that'll be cool too. So there you go. All right. So now we have this one. I don't think I can put them both out here. Well, I guess I can hold one. So all right. So we've got our Life Day Cantina, and we have our Death Star Cantina. So those are my two very basic. Please be kind in the comments. They are basic. I basically took a spray paint can, and I did a really, really quick on Canva on my phone, made a backdrop, and I actually just printed it at Staples, and put it on some cardstock. That's what I did, and that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and this is an easy thing to do. You can do this with any of the bases. You can do. If you watch back on my channel, I actually did a Mimbom attack, trench. Basically took an Imperial attack base, painted it dark gray like this, and in fact it's probably the exact same color, and that's what I put. And I put a bunch of the Mimbom's troopers and young Han Solo and all those guys in there to, kind of show that scene, which I thought was a really cool scene. So that'll do it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Not too long of an episode. I know some of them go a little long. Not this one. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Check me out on Instagram and Bluesky. Again, thank you to Star Wars Daddy for all of your support of this channel, and please check out his channel and his eBay if you're looking for great deals on loose, vintage, sometimes carded, sometimes graded, CSA graded figures and playsets and vehicles. Check out his channel as well. And also check me on like, subscribe, hit the notification button, do all that stuff. Leave some comments. Let's get the conversations going. I'm starting to see increases in viewership. That's awesome. Increases in members or in subscribers. Let's keep that going. Until next time, folks, may the Force and the toys be with you.